But welcome everybody, and sorry for the delay again. We have our workshop here with Taivo, who's going to teach you how to market your NFT in a few hours. And Taivo, I'll let you take the lead. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat and we can take them towards the end. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for the intro. So my name is Taivo. I'm the VP product at NFTPort. And let me give you a bit of personal background. So I come from an AI background and I came into Web3. And actually my journey started with a hackathon. So I'm hoping that for all of you guys, this is also the start of something bigger. And we see in our community lots of hackers, lots of people just getting started and just trying out, what NFTs are all about and trying to apply them to their own idea. So we're really excited to see what you're going to build. And we do believe it is still early with NFTs. So most of the interesting and important use cases, I think, are still out there to be discovered. And I'm hoping the next week or two will be the time for you to do that. So let me share my screen and show you what NFTPort is all about. So if you go to our website, nftport.xyz, this is what you're looking at. So NFTPort is strives to be the Stripe for NFTs, to give you very, very simple API calls, REST API calls for doing anything that you need with NFTs. And our goal is that you, as a developer, get your application, your game deployed as quickly as possible. And the way we do that, or the way we help you, is we help you not deal with all of the blockchain and smart contract complexity necessarily yourself. If you want to, you can of course do that, but we give you a layer which helps you create contracts, mint NFTs, read data without worrying about the underlying infrastructure all the time. So the three main categories of products or things that NFTPort can do for you are first, minting NFTs and deploying contracts. So if you want to create NFTs, we got you covered. The second one is if you want to get data about NFTs, for example, given a wallet, figure out what NFTs that wallet owns today. We also got you covered there. And the third category is kind of value added or enhanced APIs on top of the data, which means searching NFTs, getting recommendations or similar NFTs, trying to figure out, if you're trying to figure out whether a particular NFT is counterfeit, we can also help with that. And I'll show the exact endpoints in a minute. How do you get started? There's the big button here, click on that, and you can sign up here. Once you fill in the forms, submit, you will get the API key directly to your email. I think you can start testing everything out. So once you have the API key, you can go to NFTPort documentation, docs.nftport.xyz, and you can see a relatively high level overview here of roughly similar things that I'm talking about. But the main categories of things that you probably care about are tutorials. Yeah, someone is drawing here. Then the full API reference, and then there are a few support links. So let's jump right in. So if you want to, the thing I mentioned before, if you want to see NFTs owned by a particular account. So for example, you might see on OpenSea, there may be an account, let's say Cdixon, someone who is quite well known in the Web3 space. I'm getting their account address and bam, in a single API call, I can fetch all of the a list of all the NFTs that this account owns. Or, for example, if you want to see if there's in the Bored Ape Yacht Club collection, you want to get the list of all the NFTs there. So let's find the contract address. Where is it? Here. So once you have a contract address, you can get all NFTs in a particular contract. Put in the contract address, and the contract is on Ether. And again, we get the list of all the tokens on that in that contract. You can do more. You can get more data, and if you want to get details about the particular NFT. So, for example, Bored Ape number, let's say 2222. I can see the contract token ID. We can get the metadata URL. We can see all of the attributes for that particular NFT. So if we look at it on OpenSea, sorry, then you can see it's white. You can see also here for white. What's perhaps can be useful for you is that getting the actual asset, the image behind the NFT from IPFS, which is what the link here, it can be quite slow. So for your convenience, we provide this cached file URL, which is essentially like a CDN where you can take the link and just display it in browser or in the game very easily, and it should load much faster than directly off of IPFS. You can also get transactions. So if you care about what has happened to a particular NFT, you can, again, it's the same NFT. So Bored Ape number 2222. We can get a list of all sales, for example, and I think there hasn't been any, or there's been one transaction here. But you can select which transactions you want to include. You can get all of them if you want, and this might help you show to the user the history of a particular NFT, like what has happened before, who have been the previous owners. So this is the data side. I think possibly more interesting for you maybe the minting side. So instead of just looking at NFT data that is out there on the chains, you might want to create your own NFTs. So to do that, the easiest, fastest way is easy minting. With a single API call, you can create an NFT. And there are two ways to do that. You could put in a URL of an image, or you could just upload the file with the request. I'll show you the URL method because it's just faster. Let's take a placeholder image. So this will be the one that will mint into an NFT. Use the file URL, and I will use my own wallet to mint the NFT into my wallet. And it will take a few seconds because we have to download the file and upload it again to IPFS. Unexpected error. That's the demo effect. But anyway, this should work most of the time. And you can, this is the fastest way to mint. What happens in the background actually is that there is this this NFTPort contract, and all of the API calls, all of the NFTs created with this method will end up in the same contract. And this may be, for the hackathon or for testing, might be something that's, quick and easy to get running. You might want more customization. And for that, we have customizable minting. So the way to do that is you have to first deploy your own contract. We have an endpoint for that. And I won't go through making all of these API calls here, but you can try them out in the interactive documentation like I did with the other endpoints. So what happens is there is a template smart contract, which is public or open source. You can see it on GitHub. And we deploy this contract onto the Polygon blockchain for you. Once the contract is deployed, you can mint into that contract or mint into that collection as many NFTs as you like. And you can see the calls and options here. So you can, it's quite basic. And I think you'll be able to figure it out. If you want to go through like if you want a more step-by-step walkthrough, you can take a look at the tutorials, because this will have like a relatively detailed tutorial. So a video and lots of steps and code examples for you to get started quickly. So this is roughly how minting works. And since you have to also upload an image and metadata usually to IPFS, you have to store it somewhere to mint the NFT. Then we also provide storage endpoints. So to store images or metadata on IPFS, you can just use our upload file to IPFS endpoint and upload metadata to IPFS endpoint. So we got you covered in the whole lifecycle, from deploying a contract to minting your NFTs to actually fetching data about these NFTs, so you can integrate everything into your application. And to look briefly into the enhanced APIs, we actually have an online demo as well. So if you go to nftport.xyz and Fungible on the top menu bar, then you can search NFTs. For example, if I search for Vitalik, I get some placeholder images, Vitalik's blood elixir. But if I do something more concrete, like Vitalik smoking with a hat, there used to be NFTs like that. Anyway, you should be able to find most of the common collections, or find from the descriptions and names of NFTs using this search. And the endpoint supporting that website that I just showed you is our search multi-chain NFT search endpoint, where you can put in the text, choose the chain or chains that you want to use, and you'll get the results. Something else that you can do, which you might find interesting, is duplicate or similarity detection. So I mentioned before that you might want to check whether an NFT is counterfeit, or whether similar NFTs exist to that particular NFT, and you can do that with either uploading an image. So you upload with the request, you upload a file, and we will check whether an existing NFT across any contract matches that image, so that you know whether that is unique. Or you can do that with URL or token ID. And the interesting thing, I think, for you guys in this hackathon is that we have just launched, this was earlier today, we launched an Unity SDK. So if you're building something with Unity, then you will be able to use that. We haven't, it's very early stages, very alpha phase of that SDK. So we haven't made it like fully public with complete tutorials. But for you this weekend, you can go to github.com/NFTport and see NFTport Unity. And here you will be able to get the asset, or get the SDK and integrate it into your Unity app. There's a walkthrough with steps here, and a brief demo, quick start, and the list of functionality that you can use. And essentially, like the idea here is that you can, with a single line, you will be able to do some of the things that I explained before. So get all NFTs of a particular account, or get all NFTs in a particular contract. You can mint NFTs directly from Unity. So this is, like I said, this is quite early stages, and you can interact directly with the developers behind it on our Discord, the Discord channel of this hackathon. The sponsor-NFTport is the channel. You can get support not just for the Unity SDK, but just like all of your questions, help about using NFTport. Any way we can, we're here for you. And if you want some inspiration, you can go to the community page of NFTport, and you can see under the gaming section, or depends on what you're building, but you guys are probably building games. You can see different gaming projects that you might find interesting going through just for inspiration, like what are other people doing? What are they using NFTs for? And there are quite a few here, I think 10 today, roughly. And one more thing, if you want to get started minting, we have increased limits for you. So we have this growth package on our website. It's $99 per month, but for you, for this hackathon, we're offering 1 month for free. So within with the package, you can mint up to 500 NFTs for free and use increased API limits, increased rate limits on other APIs. To do that, to get this offer, just there's a link in our Discord channel. You have to fill in the form, and then you get instructions for how to claim this offer. And I think that's it. Any questions? So if you have questions, I can take them from the Zoom chat. I made it pretty quick right now so that I don't take too much of your guys' time, because I'm trying to be mindful of it here. Which chains are currently supported? So if you go to the documentation and look at feature support by chain, then you can see a list of by endpoint which chains are supported. Mainly it's Ether for the data APIs and Polygon for most APIs, including the minting and storage, minting and contracts. Rinkaby which is the Ether testnet. So that's these are the support chains, but you can see the details on this feature support by chain site page. Lucas is asking, how does the minting on the fly when the user buys the NFT works? I'm not sure what you mean by when the user buys the NFT. I guess you mean like if you don't want to mint the NFT up front, but when the user is like about to push a button that they will buy the NFT. So we don't have like a Web3 native way for doing that yet. We're planning to release something next week on Monday. So stay tuned for that. But the easiest way for you right now would be to mint call the minting endpoint at the point when the user is buying it. But then the payment would not be Web3 native. So this is a limitation with the minting right now. Jason is asking, are there any features to support event log data or maybe feature plans? Event log data, I'm not sure what you mean. I assume no, because like the only things that the only data we parse out of the chains are NFT related, like transactions and NFTs themselves and collections contracts. So if it's not one of those, we probably don't support it right now and probably won't in the near future. So we are focused on NFTs, not generic chain data. So a user is asking, any plans to support other chains in the future? Yes, we're actually building, we just started building Solana support right now. I can't give you a exact timeline on when that will be ready, because it's not quite trivial. But like in the next 2 or 3 months, we intend to add several more of the most popular chains. We're also looking at Immutable and potentially others. So it depends on where the developer interest is and where most of the NFT activity is. Any more questions? Waiting for your fingers to type quickly in the chat. Can you use NFTPort to transfer ownership of NFTs? No. So currently we don't have API endpoints that help you make transactions yourselves other than minting and creating contracts. So you would have to handle that on either with a direct call, like RPC call to the chain, to the contract, or with some other API. Michael is asking, can you burn NFTs? You should be able to, yes. We just said it, I'm not sure. Let me check the documentation quickly. So deploy contract. Here's one. Yes, there is a burn function. You are able to burn them, but today we haven't yet released the endpoint for burning them. So again, you would have to do this either like manually on Polygon scan or do the RPC call yourself to the contract. An escrow service, we're probably not going to build an escrow service. And the reason is that we, like NFTPort's focus as a product is providing the essentially read and write access to NFTs at like a large scale reliably across all chains and making it extremely easy for developers. So it's probably not something that we're going to build in the near future. So any more questions? Let's give it, okay, 10 more seconds for you to shoot the question.
We can go on a little bit more later if you want, since we started late. So feel free to ask any questions.
Okay, it seems that there aren't any coming in, but like I said, we will be on Discord. Feel free to ask any questions that you have. If you get stuck somewhere, we'll be there to help. And also, you can check out NFTPort's Discord. So if you go to NFTPort contact, you will find our Discord link here. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Taivo. See you at the next session.